The top-secret Operation Majestic12 was established by order of President Harry S. Truman in 1947. Operation Majestic12 was created to take charge of the technical, sociological, and other aspects of the crashed UFOs and the small alien occupants that were recovered, dead or alive. In later years this operation evolved into the Majority 12. By secret executive memorandum, President Eisenhower established in 1954 a permanent committee to be known as Majority 12. This group oversees and conducts all activities concerned with the alien presence. Majority 12 is the most secret of all intelligence groups, and outranks all other intelligence agencies, including the National Security Agency, NSA, and the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. These 6 men, from the Executive Committee of the Council on Foreign Relations, known as the Wise Men, were part of the original Majority 12. Nelson Rockefeller, the Director of the CIA Alan Welsh Dulles, the Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, the Secretary of Defense Charles E. Wilson, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Admiral Arthur W. Radford, and the Director of the FBI J. Edgar Hoover. The Wise Men were all members of a secret society known as the Jason Society, or the Jason Scholars, who recruited their members from the Skull and Bones, and the Scroll and Key Societies of Harvard and Yale. This group was made up over the years of the top officers and directors of the Council on Foreign Relations and later the Trilateral Commission. Gordon Dean, George H.W. Bush, and Zbigniew Brzezinski were among them. The most important and influential of the Wise Men who served on Majestic12 were John McCloy, Robert Lovett, Averell Harriman, Charles Bolin, George Kennan, and Dean Acheson. President Eisenhower, as well as the first 6 Majestic12 members from the U.S. government, were also members of the Council on Foreign Relations.
Learn the secrets that have been hidden. Subscribe to Life's Mysteries, and learn the truth.
In 1947 and again in the early 1950s, Army and Air Force military units, on direct orders from the Pentagon, rushed to various sites of UFO crashes located in the southwestern part of the United States, and carted away the unearthly remains. These remains consisted of both crashed UFOs and their alien occupants. The 1947 events prompted the creation of Operation Majestic12 by President Truman. The wreckage and dead bodies obtained from these early crash retrievals were originally stored at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Dayton, Ohio. According to military sources who later went against orders and decided to talk, Hangar 18 was used for this purpose. All reports of crashed UFOs and extraterrestrial contacts have always bypassed normal reporting procedures and channels of the military, and other intelligence agencies. Instead, they were sent directly to Majestic12. All hard information regarding UFOs was routed directly to Operation Majestic12. This explains why other intelligence agencies and Project Blue Book, the official government agency for public UFO investigating, was kept in the dark, and never received any information about crashed UFOs, recovered spacecraft, or alien beings. In later years, a joint CIA and Air Force operation, using 6 C-124 aircraft, recovered the wreckage, instruments, dead bodies, and alien artifacts of crashed UFOs from Wright-Patterson and other Air Force bases worldwide, and moved them to a newly built, underground storage facility at Edwards Air Force Base in California. The entrance to this underground facility is through Hangar 18, located at the far end of one of the many runways. The ultimate secret is that Majestic12 and the U.S. government has in its possession spaceships manufactured on other worlds, as well as the occupants of those interstellar crafts.
Learn the secrets that have been hidden. Subscribe to Life's Mysteries, and learn the truth.
Majority12 have entered into various technical and trade agreements with the beings from Zeta Reticuli, named the Greys. Communication with the Greys was established and is ongoing since April of 1964. Therefore, the NASA-sponsored SETI program, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, is merely another method to provide covered funding for dark projects, under the guise of a legitimate program. The Greys, as they're part of the trade agreements, were to provide Majority12 and the US government with various forms of advanced technology. In exchange, the Greys are provided with secret bases of operation within the United States, bases protected by the Greys and US military forces. In exchange, Majority12 agreed to conceal all knowledge of their presence. Part of the trade agreements was an exchange program that allowed the aliens to abduct US citizens for experimental medical, psychological and genetic research purposes. The Greys were to provide lists of the persons abducted to the National Security Agency, for later government follow-up if such persons, when released, required medical assistance or psychological adjustment. During 1972 to 1973, a period of 2 years, an area south of Groom Lake, one of the nation's most secret test centers in Nevada, was closed and a huge underground facility was constructed for, and with the help of, the Greys. This facility was built south of Area 51, in another location named Area S4. This location is just east of, and adjacent to the Nevada Atomic Test Site. Another secret underground base was provided to the Greys. This location is known as the Ice Caves, near the Los Alamos Laboratory Facility in New Mexico. Over a period of the next 6 years, 4 more secret bases were provided the Greys, in other isolated areas of the United States. The bargain made for super technology was set in place.
Learn the secrets that have been hidden. Subscribe to Life's Mysteries, and learn the truth.
During the years 1979 through 1983, it became increasingly obvious to Majority12 that things were not going as planned. It became known that many more people, in the thousands, were being abducted than were being listed on the official abduction list. The list the Greys were supplying the National Security Council, and Majority12. It was apparent that the abductions included much more than the simple monitoring experiments of an advanced civilization. In late 1979, things had gotten almost entirely out of hand. It became known that the Greys had implanted a tiny probe, 3 mm in size, into the brains of certain abductees before releasing them. Majority12 investigators determined the probe could be used to hypnotically and telepathically program and monitor the person. In addition, some abductees were programmed with unknown post-hypnotic commands. The Greys also implanted tracking devices just under the skin, on some abductees to monitor their movements. Attempts through hypnosis to determine the nature of the hypnotic programming, and commands implanted by the Greys, triggered life-threatening physical symptoms in the abductees. Efforts to find the nature of these implants were unsuccessful. It was later discovered that the Greys were performing genetic crossbreeding experiments on some of the human female abductees. Both activities went against the original agreement with the Greys. In 1983, Majority12 discovered the full magnitude of the grand deception put over by the Greys. They were also shocked when the Soviet Union admitted that they had also been deceived, and that the Greys had entered into similar treaties and agreements with them. Majority12 was in a state of near panic as they realized the Greys' deception. The Greys were holding back technology, and the secrets of interstellar space flight. They were also abducting many more people than was agreed. The deception by the Greys caused Majority12 members to become split along factional lines. In 1983, one faction pushed to confess the scheme and the disaster it had become to the public. This faction is responsible for the leaks of sensitive information regarding the activities of Operation Majestic12. The other faction rejected this, saying there was no way they could do that, even though the situation was untenable, stating there was no use in alarming the public of either country with the horrible truth that aliens were here on our planet and they were not playing nice.
Learn the secrets that have been hidden. Subscribe to Life's Mysteries, and learn the truth.
This second faction of Majority12 won out, and their plan to develop a weapon that could be used against the Greys was accepted by the Soviet Union. Under the guise of SDI, a joint US and Soviet effort, the Strategic Defense Initiative or Star Wars was born. SDI or Star Wars has nothing to do with a defense against Soviet nuclear missiles. The nickname Star Wars was closer to the truth than the uninformed public ever realized. The alarm, publicly expressed by the Soviet Union regarding SDI, and its opposition to the program, were all artfully crafted to conceal the joint nature of the program and to prevent the Greys learning its real purpose. The United States and the Soviet Union have been secret allies since 1983. Primarily, SDI is a weapon for use against the Greys' underground bases, or any attempted invasion from space. However, to achieve funding from Congress, and support from the people, and to conceal its real nature from the Greys, it had to be presented as a defense against a nuclear strike from the USSR. The Soviet equivalent of Majority12 used the same technique, the development of a weapon to protect their country from a US nuclear strike, to obtain covered funding for the joint effort. The threat from the Greys is taken so seriously by Majority12, that President Reagan refused any concessions on SDI. He continued to vigorously pursue its development and deployment, in spite of uninformed scientific and congressional opposition. These opponents never knew its real and intended purpose. In 1984, President Reagan in a public address established the tone and seriousness of this endeavor when he deliberately, or inadvertently, let slip the remarks that the world may one day unite to fight a threat from outer space.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us?
Learn the secrets that have been hidden. Subscribe to Life's Mysteries, and learn the truth.
The basic information revealing the existence of Operation Majestic12, the crashed UFOs, alien beings, and their secret bases within the United States, was obtained through the Freedom of Information Act from the files of the CIA, NSA, FBI, State Department, and the U.S. Air Force. These documents reveal the above top-secret nature of Operation Majestic12. They also verify that the scientific discovery of all time has been hidden from the people of Earth, and that both communications and relationships with extraterrestrial alien beings have already been achieved. And that the radical new technology the Greys possess could alter human civilization as we know it. Some of these documents obtained by various civilian researchers verify the fact that we are not alone in the universe, or on this planet for that matter.
Learn the secrets that have been hidden. Subscribe to Life's Mysteries, and learn the truth.